Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hell's Toaster, and today on Heroes of the Storm we are playing Lunara. I tried recording a game for Lunara quite a while ago. I believe that was when I was recording one and ended up with going with Vala instead, and it was just terrible. I did so bad in that. But today, after a couple of warm-up games, we have done, I think I'm in Lunara playing mode, so we shall see how we do. But we did just win a game rather convincingly, and I did considerably high hero damage in that. So it's nice to know that Lunara still hasn't lost her spot to being the one who, you know, you don't expect to do a lot of damage, but just with the poisons are so good. But without further ado, let's just get right into it.
The hunt is on.
Will it work this time? Yeah. And we rolled the dice, and Lady Luck has given us the Warhead Junction. I don't really have an opinion on this map as much as most others. I like it. There's not much else to say. It's not my favourite map. It's a very middle ground map for me. I believe I have a 50% win rate on this map, so I can't really say I'm good or bad at it either. But at level 1, I like to take natural perspective. So anyone under the effect of my trait, which is Nature's Toxin, is revealed for its duration. So that is 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 9 seconds if I keep reapplying it. Nice little bit of lag there. But we're going to continue on into the mid lane. There's usually a fight for the Vision Shrine, which there is right now. That's the enemy Malthael. Oh, I'm dead. Caught straight out by Alarak. That was, yeah, if that doesn't highlight how squishy Lunara actually is, I don't really know what does. So yeah, Tracer, Malthael, and Alarak just absolutely destroyed me. But, oh well, one quick death. It's not a lot of XP, but they are pulling ahead in other ways by the looks of it, such as with lane. But we can come back from that. I'm going to just sit in mid lane with Nazebo. Hopefully, we're going to equalize. Using my W there. Using my W applies a slow. I'm just going to keep throwing out my spears to give keep reapplying my my poison. My W is crippling spores. Enemies affected by my poison get slowed. Enemies affected by Nature's Toxin increases duration by 3% and are now slowed by 40% for 3 seconds. So we are basically giving a nice slowdown to people. Tracy's going to try going in on me here, and she's going to get me. I'm really not respecting Tracer right now, and that's a big problem for me. There's 2 top, which is a big problem again. But with an Abathur, we are a body down. And to be honest, Sonya is the best solo laner we have. However, with the warheads spawning as they are, we have no one to collect them. I mean, Karazim just went in and stopped them from grabbing that one, but we're giving up both of the warheads, unfortunately. My E, which I accidentally used there, is a little wisp that gives us vision that once we hit level 4 we'll get some nice talents for. I feel like I'm not having that much of an impact this game. I'm hitting Lucio, I'm getting some damage off. We might kill Lucio there because he's used his speed boost instead of his heal. But if he can keep himself alive, then that's unfortunate. I think he healed at the fountain, but we don't know. I like to take on this talent Skybound Wisp, purely for the vision after it dies. Otherwise, it just seems very, almost, not lackluster, but very, oh, there we are. Trace is gone. Had to rewind to get rid of my poison, but she ran straight into us. I like the vision after death, so then it reveals on the minimap people who have killed it. It gives us a nice vision over the walls. slowing down Malthael here, but he's getting sped up by Lucio. My Q is a nice skill shot that applies my trait, I believe. That or it's a dot of its own, but I believe it's my trait. No, it just causes an explosion in an area. Yeah, we need to go top lane now. Causes an explosion in the area, dealing 200 and something damage. But
Let's go.
we're going up top to just try and relieve pressure here. Alarak is doing a considerable amount of damage to us, but we're chasing him away. Yep. Moved away there because I believed I saw Malthael, or not that I saw him. The ping from our team plus my own little spidey sense of knowing that he wasn't in mid lane just kind of told me that I should probably get out of here soon. So I just want to keep applying my poison to people because that's where I'm going to get most of my damage from. I did get stuck by Tracer by her ultimate there, but it didn't matter too much. Now at this level I go for Wild Vigor. Crippling Spores increases the basic attack damage of my next 4 auto attacks by 50%, which is incredibly useful. Oh, I didn't realize he actually hit me with that W. Yeah, I didn't notice he had hit me with his Reaper's Mark there. Not W, that was his E. But that was my bad. I thought I had dodged it. I did not, and then I got caught out purely because of my own stupidity. But at least now their Trace is making a few mistakes, so I'm making up for the early game. But if we just look at the hero damage here, Nazeebo's keeping up with me, but I'm on 11,000, and all I'm doing is just trying to stay in range and auto-attacking. But we're just trying to... I got a nice slow off there on Alarak. That's a nice kill. A nice simple kill there off on Alarak. Nothing too risky about it in a way. I knew he couldn't really kill me. But I do need to go back for health, as there's no fountain here anymore. The enemy team have got all 3 of the current payloads, warheads. So I'm going to head mid to try and prevent them from taking too much of an advantage on that. However, Cassia does have one in the bottom lane. We need someone to go down there and deal with her. But I'm coming mid to just try and help out with that.
This was never your land.
That was Tracer there. I was trying to catch up with her, but there was nothing to do. I have been hit by the Reaper's Mark there. I saw it that time. Nope. I'm going to send out my Wisp that way. But I'm just going to do some siege damage here quick. Take out this tower. Cassia managed to get our bot 4. I don't remember the right way around it's called. I just called them buildings. But Malthael is taking a lot of damage right now. We forced out the Lucio ultimate. I prefer Thornwood Vine. A lot of people prefer the or Leaping Strike or whatever it's called. But I actually prefer Thornwood Vine as it allows me to stay at a bit of a range.
I must retreat.
Especially against a team with an Alarak and a Malthael. Alarak got top lane. And this is just turning into a bit of a cluster hell here. With them having such good control over the objectives, and with us not having a fifth body, with Abatha just being a lane soaker at this moment in time, we're unfortunately losing out on a bit of a issue here in these team fights. I dodged the counter strike, is it? Oh. Got a nice kill there off again on Alarak. Again, I didn't feel too scared to fight him there. Oh god, I accidentally hit that. That could have been bad. But no, I don't feel too bad fighting Alarak when I get the drop on him, because he just doesn't have... If he grabs me with his E, then I have issues. I have big problems. But now I'm running down here to the bot lane to try and help out, but with Lucio and Tracer being as low as they are. I tried to get in to throw off a Thornwood Vine there, but I don't think it helped too much. I'm going to throw out my Wisp there. Tracer's down here in the bot lane. I'm going to try and catch her out with a few cheeky auto attacks. Oh, I missed my auto there. She tried to get me with her ult, but unfortunately I missed my second auto, which would have been an empowered auto attack. That would have secured us a nice... Which would have secured us a nice kill on Tracer there, but Lucio got the bottom warhead. Again, we are now just kind of falling behind on the objective based on this. Lucio's here in mid lane. We kind of want to stop him because what he's going to try and do now is use that warhead on the... and he is probably going to die from the... He's probably going to die from the Zebo spiders. No, he got way too far away. I guess that's what you get from the speed boost there. Apparently I didn't get an auto attack off from Cassia. I must have been blinded, but I'm pretty sure my toxin still works on blinded targets. I've got Lucio now kind of not slowed anymore. No, I go unfair advantage here, which increases my trait damage against slowed enemies. So basically, anyone who I hit with auto attacks and then hit W will take additional damage. I believe it's 50% additional damage. Yep. So all I have to do is auto attack W and then continuously apply, and they will take increased damage. No, I was being healed there. I didn't need the palm, but kind of a wasted palm. They had backed off by the point of him using it. So, oh, Lucio getting hit quite nicely out there. I'm going to throw in a Wisp. It's going to take at least one tower shot. But there we go. We need to back now because Tracer is pushing in heavily against our Abatha, and he can't do much against her, I'm afraid. But we're coming in to be the cavalry.
Let's get to the root of this problem. I will renew these lines.
She manages to get away, unfortunately. But now we need to run, as that is an Alarak and a Malthael. I'm not too scared of them on their own, but together they can be... Ooh, I got hit by the counter-strike there. I was trying to dodge that. I don't know if I got Tracer with the W there to increase the damage of my trait, but I definitely hit her with my Q. Whether or not that will increase the damage is to be seen. No, she's still alive in the bot lane. Nazebo is just going to ignore her, but will the clone get her? With the spiders it will. So I am now down here to pick up this, and I might just use it straight away on the bottom fort. But at this point it goes Starwood Spear. It increases my basic attack range, which is just too good. So now I'm going to run in, use my warhead right here. Just get the value off of it straight away, as I don't want to be dived by Malthael and everyone and get just taken out. But that was we did get 2 warheads that time, which is actually pretty good considering our track record of grabbing them this game. But I'm just going to push that in and run away now, as I don't want to be ganked. But it seems like they're all top, going extremely hard for our Nazebo. So I probably could have stayed, but I'm trying to get multiple pressure at this point. So I'm trying to just run around, but I also want to be around for any team fights that happen. So I'm going to slow off Cassia there. She's going to blind me, but I'm not too scared of that now. She used her rend, or was it fend? I can't remember. She used her charge and then used her fend, and it just meant all she could do at that point was auto attack, and I was happy enough to walk away from that. So she can catch me out surprisingly a few times, but over the course of the game, I've currently learned like how much damage I can take from her.
Symbiote implanted.
Cassia is still quite the wild card for me, as I've not played against many of them, but I'm getting some nice damage there off against Lucio. But yeah, I've not played against many Cassias, so I don't really know how much damage they can do. But
For the wild.
it's all a learning curve. That's what this whole kind of series is for me, is to practice and get better and just, you know, just try. I have good theoretical knowledge of the game. It's putting it into, you know, putting it into practical knowledge. Ooh, that was a good ultimate there by Tracer, keeping it. Unfortunately, I couldn't help but hit Nazebo there. Tracer's going to try and mount up and run after us. But I'm just going to hit her with my ultimate and then... Ooh. I got a slow off on Lucio, but that's not good. There we go. I'm slowing the enemy Cassia there, but now I'm going after Lucio because. Oh. Ooh, Tracer and Lucio. That's unfortunate. I was sure Karazim had that Cassia. She was at no health when I didn't see his health though. I think that may have been an issue. But Lucio's ultimate plus the Tracer rewind really messed me up there. But still doing quite well in this game. We are 2 levels behind, but you can see I'm the highest in game at the moment for hero damage, and that's all for poisons. But we are just losing to the amount of objective control this enemy team has. It's unfortunate that I can't. Lunara is mobile in the sense of, in a team fight she's faster, but I believe mounting speed is 40%, and my normal walking speed is 20%. So people on mounts will get across the map faster, so the longer distance they have to travel is a bit of an issue for me. It's not that much, but it's noticeable. As you see, Karazim is now catching up with me here. But I don't believe I hit her there, but I got Malthael, and unfortunately he's being sped up by Lucio, so we need to run away from that. We managed to take out Alarak there, luckily, but oh, I'm dead. Malthael got me with his E as well, and will he live through the poison? No! Somehow Abatha got the kill, but I don't know what happened. I didn't see much there. I just know I got chased down to hell by Tracer. And Lucio is incredibly annoying with his sound barrier, absolutely saving the enemy team all this time now. But Nazebo and I, it's a little bit worrying that Nazebo and I are the highest when we have a Sonya, and the fact that we're 20k out damaging her is, it's a little bit worrying as well that I'm the highest XP contribution. And Abatha's got very little siege damage. I'm not entirely sure what Abatha's going for. What is his build? Oh, he's going support Abatha. Okay. Okay, that explains it. He's not going siege, he's going healing, so he's going shield builds. I'm not too sure if that's a good idea. I would have taken healing microbes at the start and maybe the lingering carapace. But I wouldn't have taken all of like the shield talents. Oh my god, we're just bouncing this between us. That was incredibly bad.
I seek the enemies of the forest.
I've got Tracer on my... now I've got my... activating my mount increases my movement speed, which is incredibly good for chasing as well as just straight up running away, which I'm going to need a lot this unfortunately this round. But we need to move away from each other, Karazim. Karazim's just bouncing the enemy Cassia's ultimate around us.
This was never your battle.
She stuck me, and I'm trying to move away from my team, and they're running into me. And it's annoying because I'm not going to kill Tracer for it, but we're just bouncing the enemy Cassie's ultimate between us and continuously because she has got the level 20 upgrade. Just clicked off of it. Yeah, infinite lightning. Its cooldown's reduced by 3 seconds every time it hits an enemy, and we bounced it between one another a lot here, and then over here, like down here, I believe it was. So she's just getting so much value out of that talent right now, and Sonya's going in 1v2 against an Alarak Malthiel, which isn't too great. But Abatha's cloning Nazebo a lot, which I do agree with, because he's a lot of CC as well. With his zombie wall, he can create a blockade. But I'm not entirely sure that would be my choice of clone. My choice of clone would be either me or Karazhan, purely for the fact that I prefer to clone healers. Healers and tanks are really good to clone as Abatha, as you can have much higher impact on the game. But something I'm really not using a lot is my wisps. But I'm gonna get stopped by the enemy super siege cannon thing. Interesting, Tracer deciding to use the warhead on top of the other warhead to stop us from picking it up. But we need to move away from one another to stop the bouncing. We did that time, which was nice, but at the same time I think it's a bit too late. And here comes Abatha, who's actually cloning me now, to try and get some decent damage off. I may have killed our Karazhan by hitting him, by hitting Alarak while he was in Counter-Strike, but we need to continue fighting at this point, as they are incredibly high pressuring our base. But I think that might be GG, with 2 siege minions, 4 siege minions in total hitting our base, 5 in total. I don't know if that one actually got a shot off, but just the incredible objective play by the enemy team there really won it for them. We were busy focusing on team fights, they were busy focusing on objectives. And again, at the start, when
Warheads collected.
Warheads collected. While we were all we were in the wrong lanes for the warhead collections at the start, and to be honest, it definitely did play the audio cue that they were coming up soon, but I just totally didn't hear it, and that's my own problem. I need to work on my map awareness as such again. Starting to be the big thing I need to work on, to be honest. But that was our Lunara game here. Please rate the cooperation of the teammates. I don't want to say poor, but I don't want to say good either, so I'm just going to write fair. Because we did work together a few times, but we didn't work together a lot. Like, we didn't pull together and all notice the problems, but I'm not a fast typer. This is my issue. I would love to rally the team around and, you know, become the shot caller, but I take too long to type. And if I'm expected to auto move with Lunara at the same time, I can't do that at all. But right, at level 1 we took Natural Perspective, which I should probably, given their team, have taken Blossom Swell. Increases my Q's radius by 20%. But I like to take Natural Perspective as if someone runs into a bush, you can still see them. So it doesn't cut off your vision of them. But nah, Natural Perspective is still the choice talent I'd take. Now, at level 4, it's totally your choice. I see a lot of people take Nimble Wisp. I see a lot of people take Time Lost because then there's no mana cost. but I prefer Skybound, as after it dies, it reveals the area for 4 seconds. It's nice. Dividing Wisp is also a favourite. Everyone has their own choices, but Dividing Wisp is probably the one I see the most, actually. You're able to get 2 Wisps out when you relocate. So, but after that, I always go for Wild Vigor. It increases the basic attack damage by 50% for the next 4 basic attacks after using your W. Some people like Splintered Spear. I still prefer Wild Vigor. In team fights it might be good, but I just believe the increased attack damage for me is what I prefer. Because a lot of the time I'm usually against one person, or you know, in a lane when you're clearing lanes, it's obvious. Splintered Spear is obviously a lot better, especially if you're 1v1 in the lane. But usually, when we're running around in team fights, I didn't see a lot of opportunities, or I don't see a lot of opportunities to use Splintered Spear. Whereas Wild Vigor, I see a lot more opportunities for. At level 10, I take Thornwood Vine, which was the big straight line skill shot. It stores 3 charges. It applies your trait, and it's just a nice. If you're not confident on getting into team fights, Thornwood Vine is the ultimate of choice. Whereas if you don't mind leaping over and getting in the nitty gritty of it, Leaping Strike is everyone's. I see more Leaping Strikes than Thornwood. So that's generally what people will take. Number 13, level 13, I take Unfair Advantage, 50% more Nature's Toxin damage. Greater Spell Shield is really good, but I think every 30 seconds is a bit too long. Giant Killer is an interesting one to have as well, but I just believe Unfair Advantage is the way to go here. If you're going a more Q-based build, or if you need to stay out of the team fights more often, Pestering Blossoms is a very good choice as well. Level 16, I always take Starwood Spear. Starwood Spear increases your basic attack range. It is incredibly good. To be able to do your damage from further away, so you don't have to deal with Alarak or Malthael, is so useful. And never underestimate basic attack range or range increases on talents. They tend to be, or at least basic attack range, for people like Lunara or anyone who is a basic attack style hero, they are extraordinarily good. And at level 20, I take Galloping Gait, increases my movement speed by 80%. Activate to increase the movement speed bonus, sorry, from my my mount by 80% for 6 seconds. Now, the mount for Lunara is just a 20% flat bonus speed increase, so it basically will set me up when I press it to double mount speed, as I believe mount speed is 40%. It's either 40 or 30, but either way, it increases your movement speed a lot. You can use it in combat, which is extraordinarily good. It's usually my choice. Again, I could have taken the Forest's Wrath, 30% increased range on my Thornwood Vine, 20% increased speed on it, and that increases my vision radius by 35%. That could have been extraordinarily good. But Galloping Gait to run away from people like Malthael and Alarak, to allow me to kite them better, would have been the better choice. But I am not good at Lunara. I would state that now. I should have stated that before the game. It's a character I really want to get better at, as I do. In World of Warcraft, I mained a druid since Wrath of the Lich King, and only since Legion have I started to stray. So all druid-style characters like Malfurion and Lunara are really appealing to me. So I do want to learn to get better with her, so expect to probably see a few more videos of her in the future. Or not immediate future, I've got a few more characters that I want to do before Lunara again. But Lunara will probably be a character I practice a lot. So, but thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been House Toaster. This has been Heroes of the Storm, featuring Lunara, and I will see you next time.